For a very short amount of time, I thought he was a good guy, but he just went and turned berserk. He smashed my face into the sidewalk. My face was all patched up. My eyes got plucked out. He was strangling me in wrestling holds. At the same time, he was picking my eyes out. He was strangling me in wrestling holds.
Miami, a city known for its vibrant nightlife, beautiful beaches, and rich culture. It's a place where people go to escape, to feel the warmth of the sun and the excitement of life. But in May of 2012, Miami became the scene of one of the most horrifying crimes in recent history. A crime that would leave the world stunned and questioning the very nature of humanity. This is the story of Rudy Eugene, a 31-year-old man known by many as the Miami Cannibal. A story of drugs, madness, and a savage attack that gripped the nation, leaving behind a trail of shock, fear, and confusion. To understand how this tragedy came to be, we first need to look at the life of Rudy Eugene. Born on February 4th, 1981 in Miami, Rudy was known to friends and family as a happy, friendly, and loving individual. Growing up in a Haitian immigrant family, he was instilled with strong values and a dream of a better life. But as he entered adulthood, life for Rudy began to change. Despite his ambitions, he struggled with maintaining steady employment and was caught in the grip of Miami's harsh economic realities. He had a history of minor offenses, mostly related to marijuana use, but nothing to suggest the horrors he would later commit. Despite attempts to pull himself together, Rudy became homeless. He found himself wandering the streets, a lost soul in a city of millions. Those close to him believe he was struggling with mental health issues, made worse by his use of various substances. May 26, 2012. The day began like any other. The sun was shining, tourists crowded the beaches, and Miami's streets were buzzing with energy. But for Rudy Eugene, it was the beginning of a descent into madness. Rudy spent much of that morning roaming the streets. Witnesses reported seeing him acting strangely, stripping off his clothes as he walked. Some thought it was a heat-induced episode. Others suspected he was under the influence of drugs. It wasn't long before he was completely naked, wandering aimlessly along the MacArthur Causeway, a busy stretch of highway connecting downtown Miami to the beach. Nearby, Ronald Papo, a 65-year-old homeless man, lay in the shade beneath the highway. Papo, once a successful student with a promising future, had fallen on hard times and had been living on the streets for decades. His encounter with Rudy that day would change everything. In a sudden, unprovoked attack, Rudy charged at Papo, knocking him to the ground. Papo tried to defend himself, but Rudy was relentless. He struck Papo repeatedly, pinning him to the pavement. And then, to the horror of onlookers, Rudy began to tear into Papo's face with his teeth. Passers-by were frozen in shock. Several called 911, reporting the gruesome scene unfolding before them.
Hi, how you doing? I'm just reporting there's a naked man in front of the Miami Herald building next to the highway. He's throwing his clothes on the highway.
Is he on a pole or?
He was next to a pole, actually. He was taking his clothes off and throwing them into traffic. Black male, curly hair, Rastafarian hair, goatee. Can't miss him, he's naked.
Hello, Northeast 13th Street and North Bayshore Drive. On the sidewalk, you know, the causeway, MacArthur, there's that bike lane sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's these two bums who are going at it with each other, taking up the whole lane. I think they're fighting or something.
Listen, there's a naked man on the MacArthur Causeway at the end of the causeway coming towards Biscayne Boulevard. He is beating another man to a pulp, like on top of the man, beating him. The man is bleeding.
Somebody's beating on him? They got his beat?
I'm a bus driver. I passed by and I saw what was happening. I pulled over.
I'm not talking about dispatcher. Okay.
Okay, so it's on the...
Okay, he's been beaten, you said?
He's beating another man. It's a naked man beating another man. I mean, beating him.
Beating another man.
Yeah, on the MacArthur Causeway, like towards the Miami Herald, is at the end of the causeway. But he's going to kill that man, I promise you.
Okay.
Okay? Thank
Okay,
you.
ma'am, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
The descriptions were surreal, almost too horrific to believe. Rudy was described as a wild animal, ripping and chewing away at Papo's face in a frenzy that defied all understanding. As the attack continued, Rudy seemed completely disconnected from reality. He growled at bystanders who tried to intervene, his eyes wild and unfocused. Miami police officers, led by Officer Jose Rivera, arrived on the scene within minutes. What they encountered was unlike anything they had ever seen. Rudy was hunched over Papo's motionless body, blood covering his face and hands. Despite the officer's commands to stop, Rudy refused to comply. Officer Rivera had no choice. He fired a single shot, but it did nothing to stop Rudy. He fired again and again, until finally, Rudy collapsed, lifeless on the concrete. The attack had lasted nearly 18 minutes. Papo lay on the ground, barely alive. News of the attack spread like wildfire, quickly capturing the attention of national and international media.
Covering the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is WPBF 25 News at 5.
You have heard about the attack. Now, for the first time tonight, you're about to hear from the Miami man who had his face chewed off.
Recovering, of course, police just released the audio tapes of that interview. Rudy Gyllenhaal is in the newsroom with the new information tonight.
The victim, Ronald Papo, is now recovering in a long-term facility after the horrendous attack left him without much of a face.
Mr. Papo, can you raise your right hand?
And we're now hearing from Papo himself during a police interview from July.
Can you tell me in your own words what happened?
Papo tells investigators that the attacker, Rudy Eugene, approached him and began chatting.
For a very short amount of time, I thought he was a good guy, but he just went and turned berserk.
Caught on camera, the attack seemed to come out of nowhere. The two men had never even met.
He smashed my face into the sidewalk. My face is all patched up. My eyes got plucked out. He was strangling me in wrestling holds. At the same time, he was picking my eyes out. He was strangling me in wrestling holds.
Police would end up shooting and killing Rudy Eugene, while Papo would spend months in the hospital. During his interview with police, he mentions that prior to the attack, Eugene had just returned from the beach.
He apparently didn't have a good day at the beach, and he was coming back. And I guess he took it out on me or something. I don't know.
And police initially believed Eugene may have been high on bath salts. An autopsy only showed some marijuana. Meanwhile, Papo says that it was clear he was definitely acting strange and talking funny. Live in the newsroom, Rudy Gyllenhaal, WPBF 25.
The public was horrified. Stories of a Miami zombie or cannibal were splashed across every major news outlet. The attack became a chilling tale of the unknown dangers lurking within society's fringes. The media frenzy only intensified the public's fear and fascination with the case. What drove Rudy Eugene to such extreme violence? Was it a new drug, a mental health crisis, or something even darker? Speculation immediately turned to drugs. Authorities initially suspected Rudy was under the influence of bath salts, a new, potent form of synthetic drug known to cause extreme agitation and psychotic behavior. But weeks later, toxicology reports came back with a shocking twist. No traces of bath salts, synthetic drugs, or hallucinogens were found in Rudy's system. Only traces of marijuana were present, leaving investigators and the public baffled. If drugs weren't solely to blame, what could have triggered this horrific attack? Experts proposed several theories. Some believed Rudy suffered from excited delirium, a condition often associated with extreme drug use or mental illness, causing individuals to exhibit violent and irrational behavior. Others speculated about underlying mental health issues. Rudy's friends and family revealed he had been acting strangely in the weeks leading up to the incident, exhibiting paranoia and signs of a possible psychotic break. Ronald Papo was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The attack had left him with nearly 80% of his face torn away. Over the next few months, he underwent a series of life-saving surgeries, battling infections and enduring intense pain. Despite the severity of his injuries, Papo survived. With the help of doctors and care facilities, he slowly began to rebuild his life. But he would never be the same. Ronald Papo's strength and perseverance are truly inspiring. Despite the immense physical and emotional pain he's endured, he's managed to rebuild his life with incredible courage. The brutal attack sparked a wave of concern about mental health and homelessness. Many saw it as a wake-up call, highlighting the need for better mental health services and support systems for the homeless population. In the aftermath, Miami and other cities around the country began to focus more on mental health resources and homelessness. Nonprofits and community organizations ramped up efforts to provide better care and support, hoping to prevent future tragedies. It's crucial for us to understand and address the root causes of mental health issues. We need comprehensive programs to help individuals before they reach such a critical state. The investigation into Rudy Eugene's attack led to intense scrutiny. Authorities examined every angle, trying to piece together the puzzle of what drove him to such violence. The legal proceedings were swift. Since Rudy Eugene had been killed at the scene, there were no criminal charges. However, the focus shifted to understanding his mental state and any potential links to substance abuse. While Rudy Eugene's death closed the criminal case, it opened up a broader discussion about public safety and the need for better mental health interventions. The story of the Miami cannibal remains a haunting chapter in Miami's history. It serves as a grim reminder of the fragility of the human mind and the consequences of neglecting mental health. For Ronald Papo, life goes on. Though he bears the scars of that horrific day, he continues to live with the support of those around him. His story has become a symbol of survival and resilience in the face of unimaginable hardship. As for the legacy of Rudy Eugene, it remains a cautionary tale, one that forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about mental health, substance abuse, and the challenges faced by the most vulnerable members of society. In the end, the tragic events of May 26, 2012, remind us of the thin line between sanity and madness. They challenge us to look deeper into the issues that plague our society and to find ways to prevent such horrors from happening again. As we reflect on the story of Rudy Eugene and Ronald Papo, we are reminded of our shared responsibility to care for one another, to seek understanding, and to act with compassion. It is through these efforts that we can hope to create a world where such tragedies are not just a distant memory, but a call to action. This was the story of the Miami cannibal, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can emerge from the depths of human despair. We hope it serves as a catalyst for change, sparking conversations and actions that can make a difference.
Good enough action shot? Yeah, just generally thanks for contributing and helping out. People in my predicament need to be helped out, and I'm sure there's other people also that have the same type of predicament. I thank the outpouring of people in the community. I will always be grateful for that.